Ooh.
Anyway, TV, on behalf of Malaysian people, Malaysian industry and musicians, and Asia, I'm thankful, for your opportunity to come up to your guitar talk show. It's a great thing. Thank you so much, Jimmy.
Well, I appreciate it. It's my pleasure to do it, and to be here with you. And so hopefully we can talk and we can learn a little bit about who you are as a musician and how you got to where you are and stuff like that. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to dig right in. I see a lot of Marshalls and Ibanez's and locking tremolos, so I know you got to be into the rock thing. So how did that all come to be? I mean, how did you get involved in playing guitar to begin with?
Okay, I started back in 1978. 1978, that was when I was like 15 years old. And then started first when I started my first band when I was 16 years old, back in 1981. And and our first band is called Loser. Loser. Back then I started until I was playing in a club in 1984, in 1986. Then rest all the collection of all my guitars, my amplifier, listening to all the great, like Willie Rod, I was yes. These are all the wonderful players who inspired me to play and to learn as deep as I can, Yeah. Until today, my band is still around. Jimmy, and we all do recording, we all do concerts and here and there, Yeah.
Yeah. So were you influenced by a wide variety of players, or was it was it just rock players? Was it just was there a wide variety of music that influenced you?
Yeah, because as as teenager I was into shot all these great heroes of mine. Then Buddy Guy, Albert, these are all the wonderful cats, man. I really digging them seriously. And then I have Steve Lukather, Danny Carlton, partly into them.
Yeah. So have you been, or are you trained in any way? I mean, did you take lessons? Did you go to any kind of school, or did you learn completely on your own?
No, I was completely on my own.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Only by listening to songs back then.
Yeah.
Back in the early 80s, you went through it, I went through it.
Out of all of that, though, I mean, when you're self-taught, let me ask you this. I mean, what do you think are what were the most important aspects for you of developing yourself as a player, being self-taught? Like, I can say for myself, the thing that's been the most important thing to me is the ability to really hear things well and understand what's going on, well with the way things here. Now, some people learn differently. Some people learn, they learn the neck, first, or maybe that's how they learn, scales maybe, or, box shapes, because I don't read music myself, and I play by shapes and by hearing and stuff. And so, I mean, how did that develop for you? Because I know it's a little bit different for everybody.
Yeah, that's a good question, maybe. But all these years I was into melody. I was not into technical. So much back then, doing all these great, you know, Beatles, you know, the talking about Gary Moore, old.
Why don't you tell us a little bit? You know, I've seen you play guitar in some videos and stuff that you've shared with me and stuff. And so I'm curious as are that are really important for some people. It might be the way the neck feels. For some people, it might be the pickup configuration. For some people, it might be the shape and the feel of the guitar. What is it for you?
I'm into old Strat. I still have one. That one. You know, I before 1975 original Strat. Because when it comes to practicing or to venture into melody, I'll go with this.
Yeah, you know, I started out on the Strat, and it was my main guitar for a really long time. I love it because it's versatile and it's comfortable, you know, and it feels good to me. And that,
Yeah.
but over the years, I don't know. I've come to this place to where if I was stranded because it could be used as a canoe paddle if needed. You know, it's just
I kind of agree with you. I have an old one before 1969 inline. I have it. It's a great guitar. Very custom guitar. I agree.
yeah. Well, you know, Charvel, I think was
It's the American so-called Charvel. I have two of it.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this. I mean, I know this might be a crazy question. I talk to people from all over the world, and I know in some places getting gear is difficult. Is it hard to find gear? Is it hard to get a Marshall amp or a Charvel guitar or an American Strat where you are? I mean, do you have to jump through a lot of hoops, wait a long time, or are there stores and shops, you know, guitar stores around that actually carry some of them?
You'll be surprised to me. We have tons of shops here.
Yeah.
We have lots of shops here. We have guitar stores. We have, you know, a lot of music, big stores in KL, in Malaysia. So, and Singapore is near with us. You can always take a plane, a 1 hour flight to Singapore and get all the latest gear, vintage gear. And down in Malaysia, we have a lot of shops that sells Marshalls and a lot of amps and Rivera to what you call Sojano, Faulkner, and all that. We have it.
Wow. Yeah. Now I met a guy in the Philippines that has his own line of guitars, and he has a bunch of stores, and he's kind of a big to-do in that area. And I don't know if he's big to-do in all of Asia, but I think his last name was spelled Jancito, and he's got his own line of guitars. Is that a name that's familiar to you where you are? No? Okay. I didn't know. Right. Yeah, I know a lot of. Yeah, I know a lot of guitars come from that part of the world, and I know here in America, you know, it's the exact opposite of it. I really do, because some of the best guitars that I have are made in Korea or Japan or Malaysia. Some of those, I mean, people think that it has to be made here. If it's not made here, well, then it's not a good guitar. And I'll be honest, I own about 73 guitars, I think is how many I own. But out of all those, the ones that I play on a regular basis, out of the 10 that I play all the time, 9 of those are not made in America. you know?
Oh, I kinda agree with you, Jimmy. You know why? Those days, 35 years ago, it's difficult to get a quality instrument from Asian country. But now, CNC with all these big, huge factories who can cut, as perfect as possible, and they can set up the guitar as good as possible. Now I don't see a problem.
Yeah, yeah. I actually have a friend that has a whole bunch. He's got quite a few of what they call the Chisbins, right? The Gibsons that are made in China. Right, they're kind of, it's like a Les Paul, and it's branded as a Gibson, but it's not. Yeah, Gibson. And so I've actually been around these, and I've played them, and $500 to get one of those, or the $3,000 to $5,000 to get an actual Gibson. I would take the one in China, simply because all I got to do is a couple of small modifications, and the guitar's gonna look and play equally as well, if not better.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's great.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree with you. Because it's like you put a Ferrari and you put a Cadillac. Without the driver, who can drive those cars good? Yeah, no. So Ferrari cannot move by his own. You need to have a driver. Same thing as Chinese make guitars or qualification, whatever. I heard. And I was given a present from a guy, a friend of mine from Switzerland. He came here all the way and gave me a guitar called Vintage, the brand Vintage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great guitars. Yeah,
it's good, seriously.
Yeah,
damn good.
Yeah. But, and yeah, but it's such a stigmatism here, unfortunately. But then you turn around and you watch some of the players that are in Asia that are endorsed by Yamaha, and you go, oh my God! I mean, they sound amazing, they play amazing, and then when you actually sit down with one, you realize, there's such a huge misconception in that. I think it's cool though that you're. I think it's cool that you're in a location though to where you get it, because as I said before, I've talked to people in different parts of the world that just don't have that. Getting a Fender Strat or getting a good Ibanez or getting whatever is really, really difficult to do. And so it sounds to me like where you are, there's lots of music and lots of opportunity. Is that correct?
Well, if we say about opportunity, I think I have to be very honest. There are a lot of good bands here, a lot of good, great musicians, but at times they still got to do with cronyism and all this. I'm so sorry to say it, because it's like European, maybe in America or in Japan. I have friends over there who say it's more wide and more acceptable there. Here, it's like, man, my own forum. It's like yours. Mine, I'm called a 3M forum, where I introduce this how to get to play on your own. Try to play, jam, and try to look for your own voice. Very, very important. Then end up becoming other people.
Yeah.
They end up like Steve White want to be a Steve White wannabe, which is, for me, it's okay for you to start to learn and to copy. It's okay, no problem. But end of the day, voice, it's like you and me. We jam. You know what I like about you, Jimmy? What I like about you? The first time I hear you, because you jam on your own. That's what I like about you. You're not trying to be, Mumstein or Steve White or whatever. What I hear is Jimmy Warren playing guitar. So that's the beauty part of it.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you saying that, because it was a conscious decision in the beginning to not learn other people's stuff or how other people did like they did, right? They're going to try to figure out what notes they did, how they bend, and all that other kind of stuff. I was always the polar opposite of that. I would just do me in that song. I would just play along, right?
Same here.
Yeah. as you just said, in the end, what matters is your voice, right? I mean,
Yeah.
there's already been a Jimi Hendrix and a Stevie Ray Vaughan, right? I mean, you can go down that path and, and imitate them and turn that into some sort of living or career. But, it's to be who you are, and just express yourself the way you express yourself. It's difficult because I know for myself, when I first started out, I played blues in Chicago with all the legends, and I wanted to go down that blues path. And so I formulated all my albums and everything that I did around that blues. But at the core of who I am as a player, that wasn't me. That was a part of me, but that wasn't me. So I didn't play like me. I tried to play to fit into this box. You know what I mean? That's there. And I think too many people do that. And you got to have your own voice and be your own person. He's back.
Yeah, man. So,
That's right.
what's wrong with the line?
Well,
Really?
I mean, you're in a completely other end of the world than I am. So it happens. It happens to me when I talk to people in Asia and Australia. That's when it happens the most, where you get that latency where it locks up and it's slow and stuff like that. Or if you get somebody that's like in the mountains, I get the people that live in like the Hollywood Hills and shit like that, is simply because of.
This is I'm the first local guy from Asia to got this one.
What is it?
It's a Schroeder. It's a German boutique guitar by Mike Schroeder.
Oh, okay. It's really cool. Is that roasted maple neck?
This is one fabulous machine. Seriously.
Yeah. Does it have scallop fretboards or is it straight fretboard?
It's a straight board.
Yeah. Is it roasted maple or just straight maple?
It's roasted maple.
Yeah.
Roasted.
Yeah. Those are nice.
This 100 years, This is prototype.
What kind of pickup is that by the bridge?
I think this pickup is no more existent. This PJ.
I'm sorry, you broke up.
Pickup by PJ Max.
Oh, okay. Wow. So you like the locking tremolo? Do you like those?
No, because I'm playing in a heavy metal band, so I'm playing alone. I'm playing alone one guitar, so I don't want to end up tuning all the time.
Yeah.
So with this, I can play 1.5 hour show straight without tuning.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Seriously, I'll send you a link on the concert. This one.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So how often do you play? I mean, and do you play just around your area or do you play outside of your country?
Okay, for recording or local artists, I've been doing that for 32 years.
Wow.
Actually, yeah.
Wow. That's really well. Congratulations. Now, have you personally or a band you've been in? Have you been signed to a label at all?
Yeah, we did. We was signed to Warner Music in 1988 for our focus album.
Yeah.
And then my bassist passed away in late 90s, and then we did two albums.
Yeah.
Then my singer was diagnosed with minor heart attack, minor stroke. Now currently we are with a different latest singer and a different bandmates. And now we have offer from Singapore, from Indonesia to sign us, but I was just thinking about, for me, just to get signed and just do nothing, I'm not interested. Seriously. I want to get something done. I want to get the message. I have, Leslie Lawrence, the lady who was talking good about you and the band that you guys. She's been supporting me all this while for my musical career and all this, So yeah, she's really into the music thing, and she was like, yeah, I think maybe don't need to come to America. You guys need to come to Asia. Maybe it's not as easy as that. Maybe, you know. I heard that you have a company, right?
Yeah, I have a record company. I own a label, and I own a management and booking company as well. And then I do the podcasts and stuff. It's tough. You know what? It's tough. What I try to do mostly with the people I work with is get them to Europe. Right? That's where I try to get them to go, because Europe, I mean, it seems to be, I don't want to say easier, but it seems to be easier. There's more money. The crowds are more appreciative. I don't know if it's because every bar in every neighborhood just about has a band, and they'll pay $200, $300, $400 for a band to come play. Now, if you're Paul McCartney or Coldplay or Steve Vai or those guys, you're going to work because you've got a really big audience. You've been around a long time. You've got big people pushing you. But when you're in that middle, right? When you're an artist that's in that middle and you're on a small label, mid-sized label, whether you're independent, whatever it is, and you're trying to make a way for yourself, it is really, really, really fucking hard. And the reason it's hard is because the people at the very tippy top only care about people that can make them money, right? And the people at the very bottom, the bar bands, and that they're not going to pay $2,000, $4,000, $5,000, whatever, for somebody to come play in their bar, for a few hours. They're just going to get some local guys that sound like the jukebox and, pay them a few $100. So those guys in the middle, have to really, really struggle. And most of the time, even though I work with some people, at the top, have for a long time, most of the people I like to work with are the people in freaking music, really good bands, but just don't have opportunity. And it's tough here in the United States.
I tell you, to venture into Asian country, the best is still, I think Malaysia is still to, like 2,000 crowd venue or 5,000 crowd. No, I know a few people here who owns what do you call it? You can do that kind of gig, that kind of crowd. I know these people, I know the bosses. They are cool with me. So even in Indonesia, I know a few guys who can bring all those great bands, and they can jam together with the local band and do some great shows. Why not?
Yeah, no, that would be great. I don't know, you probably don't know this, but last summer I almost moved to the Philippines. Yeah, I did. I almost moved. I sold my home and all my, a lot of my stuff, and I was all ready to go. And then I have an elderly mother, and she got ill, and I ended up staying. But I was going to go there simply because I felt that if I personally went to Asia, I could probably do rather well, as a musician, and probably do okay. I know some people in the Philippines. That's what led me to believe that, and they were the ones that were kind of guiding me through the process and stuff. But I've always felt, that, that's a good friends of mine, tour Asia all the time, and it's huge for them. Yeah. Well, I'd love to come over there. I would. I'd love to bring some of my bands over there, of course. But because it's touring here in the United States is very difficult, very, very difficult. That's why I don't know if you've noticed this. You probably have, but a lot of bands that are from Asia and Europe don't come here. And the reason they don't come here is because, one, it costs so much money to travel and come over here and get visas and stuff like that. But then even when you do, I mean, you're competing with what? I mean, how many hundreds of thousands of bands that are here, everybody's competing for the same thing. It's really, and it's not about talent. It's not about, who's good, and who can entertain and who can play well. I mean, it's not about that at all, unfortunately.
True. I agree.
Yeah, yeah. So what do you do? What are you doing now musically? What are you doing right now? I mean, not this minute, but I mean, going on.
I need to do my program, the JM program. So I'll be going there in the Penang Island. There's an island called Penang, very popular, right? I think you should know the name Penang. We have great food and great people. So the university people, they want to bring my program to educate the people there, the musicians there, you know, and then do some seminars and some talks and all these.
Yeah.
And some
Yeah. Well, that's really cool. It's really cool. Well, I tell you what, I know it's getting late. You're in your neck of the woods, and I'm
okay.
I know. But unfortunately, I got another interview here in about 10 minutes. So, but anyway, it was an absolute pleasure, you know, talking to you. And, you know, if you want to send me some information.
On behalf of me, Malaysian, our industry, our Malaysian industry, my family, my kids, my mom, and my sister Leslie, and all my friends, audience, we all thankful for to have you on your Guitar Talk show, to have me, the first local Asian to come the picture with you, bro. It's such a great move for me.
Well, it was really my pleasure.
Thank you.
My pleasure in that, and it was really good talking to you. And you know, let's keep in touch.
I will.